Okay, welcome back to the channel everybody. It's Mike Newton down here at Penrith Golf Hub, and we've got a Cobra Iron head-to-head video for you today, and it's the King Forged Tech Iron, so the hollow construction. Be quite a nice popular iron, that nice and forgiving, a little bit of power there. And I'm going to put it up against the new King Tour Iron, so a little bit more of a slimmer look, a little bit different in the technology, and maybe two clubs that you might be sort of interested, both offering a level of forgiveness, but we're going to maybe just put them up against each other and see if there is a difference of performance, ball speed, launch, distance, everything like that, and also obviously my personal feedback of the looks and the feel of these two irons. Okay, so we're going to start off with the Forged Tech Iron. So as I say, this was introduced earlier this year in 2020. Hollow construction, as with most brands now, they're offering a hollow-headed iron, bit of tungsten there, so we're offering some forgiveness. We've got the forged sort of feel, hopefully, but we know sometimes in these hollow heads, we don't always get that real soft, buttery feel as we do as a traditional sort of forged bladed iron. So I'm going to hit some shots with this. Now, this is a 7-iron, and before you sort of maybe start commenting and firing your comments down there, I know these lofts are different, but it's not the reason why I'm actually doing this video. So this is 29.5 degrees of loft as a 7-iron. The 7-iron loft on the Tour Iron is 33, so there is a difference. So we know there's going to be a difference of performance. But again, I think it's a category that, do I go into that hollow head, or do I go into more of that you know, maybe less forgiving and an element of control. So it's interesting to see what the actual difference is of that 3.5 degrees of loft, and also then what effect it has on spin, and also maybe dispersion, everything like that. Okay, that's quite a nice opening shot. A little bit of a left to right shape. Popped up a little bit higher, that, to be honest. So I think look behind the ball with the Forged Tech, you know, it's very confidence inspiring. It's quite a long blade length from that heel to the toe. Sort of very square top edge to it, quite a blocky sort of top edge. A little bit of offset, not a huge amount, which is good. So it does look like there's a bit of sort of a bit of beef behind it in a way. Oh, that's a nice strike. That's a better strike. Love the shot. Clicky sort of sound to it. Again, it's that hollow head, isn't it? We tend to sort of see a little bit more of that clickier sound, acoustic wise. Nice shot again there though, to be honest. Which, again, sound we sometimes to relate to as feel, don't we? And again, we look at the word Forged Tech on the back, forged, but we've got to remember the word tech, so there's technology in there, just in the way of weight, you know, tungsten weight, obviously the hollow head, trying to get a little bit of that ball speed. So obviously at 29.5 degrees, it's trying to be a power iron with a bit of a player's sort of look around it. All right, that was a little bit toe side. That was just testing that forgiveness. Flown quite nice, but interested to see if that's lost a lot of distance. No, it hasn't. Still got out there, which is good. So they're going to have a little bit of that forgiveness level, possibly just helping out a touch. Oh, that's a nice strike. Nice sort of high towering flight. Definitely that little bit of clicky sound. Personally there, 126 ball speed. Yeah, I got out there a little bit further. Really good strike on that last one. Okay, so there's some hit with the Forged Tech Iron. Let's flip, same shaft, and we'll flip the Tour head in. Right, okay, so the new King Tour, so featuring the MIM technology that Cobra have introduced. Originally the wedges are now moved into irons, so non-forged product, but that according to Cobra, it feels as soft as a forged iron, which I've done some reviews, some of them testing that, and to be honest, it's a good feeling club. I was doubtful whether it was as soft as a forged club. Look-wise, just a little bit more slimmer now, as you just sort of expect, you know, hardly any offset, a little bit more of a rounded, slightly thinner top edge, obviously polished chrome. Forged Tech's more of a satin finish. So this is a great looking iron. I must admit, in that playing position, it does look very, very good. Okay, very different sound there. Very noticeable different sound. And it wasn't the greatest of strikes, I must admit. Ball speed's a little bit obviously lower there, probably a little bit of that strike as well. It just didn't seem to fly off the club face there, not quite as explosive first impressions, probably as you'd expect. Again, there's a loft difference here, isn't there? This is the 33 degrees, so it is a good 3.5 degrees more loft. So that was a good strike. I've just pulled that a fraction there, but that's a good strike. It just feels like that ball's on that club face that split second long. It doesn't feel like it really powers off there as you've maybe got that sensation more with that forged tech. Again, the sound probably equates to that feel a little bit as well. A little bit clicker in the hollow head, sounds a little bit more explosive. It gives you the impression it's really coming off a lot quicker. This does feel like it's staying on the club face a little bit longer. Obviously feels a little bit softer as well, this. That's a good strike, better strike there, lovely flight. Seems to be a decent bit of distance there. You see the ball speed's not quite as quick there, is it? Which again, you're gonna expect. Stronger loft, ball's gonna come off faster, isn't it? Be interesting, this is the reason why I wanted to do this video. What is the difference? You know, could you give up whatever the distance I'm gonna find between this carry distance and maybe looking at spin averages as well? Could you, again, this is a bit of a question you might be asking your fitter through that session, or he'll be asking you, can you afford to lose that little bit of length? If you're going to get a more consistent ball flight, you're going to get that little bit more control into the greens, the look of the club, the feel also, if you're preferring this sort of feel of the Tour Iron against that sort of clickier, hollow feel in a way. See, that wasn't a perfect strike, touch heel there, flown very nice, a little bit left to right fade on it. Yet the ball speed was quite good on that, wasn't it? 120, 122, nearly 123, did very well. Spin just popped up a little bit more, so just maybe seeing that spin just jumping around a touch more on first sight there. But let's go look at those numbers a little bit more detail between that forged tech and the Tour. Okay, so just have a little look at the dispersion rings to start with. So we can see the yellow was with the Tour Iron, the white was with the forged tech. So very similar pattern. I've got one pull with each of those irons in there, haven't I, with that one and that one. The rest are in that sort of very similar area, but obviously seeing a little bit more distance straight away with that forged tech. And we're going to expect that because we knew there was a little bit of difference of loft. So when we look at the numbers there, obviously you can appreciate club head speed is going to be the same there, around that 88.5 mile an hour. We're just swinging a touch slower than I would normally. I tend to hit around that 90 mark there. Just slowing off a little bit of speed. That's obviously more me than the club itself. Ball speed wise, again, as you expect, 123.4, 120. So a bit more ball speed there with the forged tech. So again, for the golfers out there, just wanting that little bit of ball speed there. Obviously the tech's going to give it with that stronger loft. So you launch just a touch lower there, 1 degree. Again, because the loft, spin a touch lower on average there with that 5.1 against that 5.7. So the distance there you can see is a good 10 yards difference of distance between those two clubs. Both interestingly peaked off pretty much at the same height, 106, 108, and descent angle very, very similar. So again, there's a lot of stopping power in that descent angle. Okay, so there we go. There's a couple of Cobra irons, and maybe that sort of transitional period you're going to get from maybe that game improvement iron. You're thinking, right, my game's progressed. I'm ready for something a little bit more advanced for your game to sort of take it to that next level. You might look at the forged tech. You might be looking at the King Tour Iron, obviously, that's just come out. And, you know, and it's one for you to go out and test. But again, the reason I've done this video is obviously the difference of loft, and that's a good thing because it provides two different clubs, isn't it? So they are both doing a different job. Do you take that bigger jump from your game improvement iron and bypass the forged tech and go to the Tour Iron? Again, you've got to jump. Do you drop off a lot of distance? You possibly will do. But are you going to make that up with more control, prefer the feel of it? Can you afford to give up those extra yards? Again, that's a question you're going to ask through that fitting session. Or do you just sort of progress into the sort of forged tech? Hopefully you're going to keep a little bit of that ball speed up that you see maybe in your cavity iron, your game improvement iron. But then you start to get a little bit more feedback through the actual club itself. Again, you go and test it, as my message to you guys. As always, go and test it yourselves. Okay, post your comments down below. Let me know your thoughts on those two irons from Cobra. I think two really nice irons, two different feeling irons there. I definitely feel, for me personally, the look and the feel of the Tour Iron was much better, even though it wasn't as long hitting. But for me, distance isn't everything. It's more about that looks, the feel, the feedback, and how it sort of performs. Okay. Thanks very much for watching. Appreciate watching the video as always. If you've enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up button, share the video around, and if you haven't subscribed, please just consider hitting that subscribe button. I very much appreciate it. And while you're there, just ring that bell so you get notifications of any future videos. As soon as one lands on my channel, you'll get a little ping and you'll be one of the very first ones to watch it. And hopefully we'll catch you all very soon.